Hi everyone, this is Debbie Happy Cohen here with Goat Note. Are we on number 13? Oh, I think we're on number 13. Oh, how scapegoats create narcissists. Oh. So, in this video, I want to make clear right up front that when I'm talking about scapegoats, I'm talking about people who've been scapegoated and who are carrying the mindset with them of somebody who's been scapegoated and who hasn't healed it. I'm not talking about children who are being scapegoated, who do not have the power to change their circumstances. I'm not talking about people who are under siege or some kind of violence and are, again, either physically threatened or powerless to assert themselves and make a change and take control of their lives. So this is for you if you have been scapegoated and either in your childhood or that you've created or you've been in a relationship where you've been scapegoated and you took on, I would say, the false guilt, false shame, and you acted as though it were true. I mean, I think that is at the heart of what happens inside somebody who's been scapegoated. So without further ado, I actually took notes on this. Usually I go more off the cuff, but this just kind of flowed in a conversation I just had and with a client, which was amazing. As I've said it in other videos, some of my clients have younger children or teenagers, and sometimes that's just a huge motivation for them to have deeper awarenesses and that kind of a thing. So how scapegoats create narcissists. The feeling that the person who has been scapegoated has about themselves, if not healed, feels small or smaller than others or less important, because they've been trained to believe that they're less than. They've been trained to believe that that's true. Their feelings, needs, perceptions, and desires, either they did not matter and were either minimized, ignored, or twisted, like with a lime twist. One of the traits that scapegoats may carry is actually feeling special as the underdog, as the one who can't have what the others have. So that's something to be aware of when you're thinking about, maybe I've been scapegoated, and am I creating narcissists? Am I bringing out the narcissist side of people? Because I think we all have narcissism in us, and I think, most people do. I mean, but you can actually trigger that and bring it out in people more, even with someone who's not typically like that. The energy and vibration that the scapegoat would be carrying is they don't presence themselves in a room. They don't presence themselves in their strengths, in their passions and purpose, and thereby giving the person who may be a narcissist or maybe not even be a narcissist, giving them more space and more voice and more presence. And the relationship attitude kind of goes like this: you matter, you matter, you matter, and I don't. Your needs, you can call that a martyr, right? Your needs matter, your feelings matter, your desires and perceptions matter, mine don't. Now I might feel resentful of that, but in the relationship, I don't let you know that that's what's inside of me. This generates and reinforces narcissistic behavior. So the resolution. So we're going to go through the same pieces. The feelings about self. The resolution is I value my feelings, needs, and desires, and I'm in touch with them. And in our world, in our culture, this actually takes practice. You have probably heard me refer to Dr. Brene Brown in a previous Goat Note video. She's amazing. And one of the points that she makes is that when it comes to emotions and emotional literacy, emotional fluency, in order for people to learn about emotions, they first have to be curious about them. But here's the thing, you can't really take control of your life if you're not in touch with your emotions. If you don't know what you feel, other people will tell you what to feel, and you'll believe them rather than yourself. So this has everything to do with your own authenticity. So valuing your feelings, needs, and desires and being in touch with them is huge. And what she was saying is it's hard to learn something when we haven't been taught to become curious about it. I'm going to give you a little aside here that can probably change your life if you don't feel like you're a good reader or a fast reader. You can actually take your finger, go down a table of contents, take your finger, go down an index of a book, and just go. Let your eye scan the way you would scan a magazine. And you will take in so much information. And what'll happen is it'll start making you curious. Then when you're going throughout the book, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I was wondering about that. I was wondering about that. Now you're like in the conversation. Don't worry about reading a whole book. Why am I bringing this up? Because in order to learn something, you got to first become curious about it if you want to learn it really well. So become curious about your emotions if you're not already, because that is the secret doorway key to getting to a better place in your life. I recognize this is also part of the resolution, feelings about yourself. I recognize that keeping myself small protected me when I wasn't safe, or protected me when I was a child, or when I didn't have power, especially if I was bullied by a narcissistic parent, or it could be an employer, somebody else who has power over you. It could be in a relationship where there's abuse. I thank that child. I thank that part of me that kept me small. I thank that part of me that felt like trash enough to keep me small, because in those situations, it may have saved you to stay small. So you don't want to just like, oh my gosh, I hate that weakness and I hate being so. No, you thank that part of yourself, and then you go, okay, now I'm willing to show up as an adult who uses her choices, options, and opportunities wisely. So in Goat Note number 1, I wrote a poem about thanking why I love Trash Can Girl. Like, whenever we reject parts of ourselves, we're behaving just the way people who are abusive behaved toward us. So when we embrace and accept and go, oh, thank you so much. Like, I learned to do that with my dog from my favorite behavioral trainer. Like, he's barking, and I used to yell at him. And then finally I learned from her. She walked to the window when he was barking at the UPS truck really loud. And she walked up to the window and she looked at him. She stood next to him and went, oh, thank you so much, hero. Thank you so much. And the dog just was like, ooh, okay, got it. You're in charge. You got this now. I can tone down. So same thing with that younger self that you may still be carrying. Another thing about feelings within self or about self, I'm aware of the distinction between false shame and guilt and my own feelings of shame and guilt. Because false feelings of shame and guilt are projected on you. Like the narcissist person or whoever the other person is, they're feeling bad and you're like, oh, it's my fault. Or I'm to blame. And if they're truly narcissistic, they're blaming you and assuming that storyline for you, and you're buying it. So stop buying it and be like, oh, if it's true, I feel ashamed that I did this, or I feel guilty that I did this. So start becoming aware. These distinctions are really, really important. And last thing about feelings about self, I validate my perceptions, feelings, thoughts, needs, and desires. Remember, these are the things that were twisted or minimized or ignored. So I validate my perceptions, feelings, thoughts, needs, and desires, and I will share them with people who care to listen and who care to support me to be empowered, and who truly care about me feeling the best that I can feel. It's beautiful. You deserve that. We all deserve that. Everybody on the human planet, everybody, every animal, everybody deserves to feel that. Energy and vibration. Still, we're part of the resolution here. I am present. Aquí. I love the word aquí in Spanish. Aquí. I'm not a fluent Spanish speaker. I just know a few words, but I love that word. Aquí. I know my value. I let my energy fill the space I'm in, whether it's in the workplace or it's in the home or in a natural, innocent way, the way an infant, when somebody brings them into the room, like so much of the energy in the room focuses on the infant doesn't try to tone down their energy and make themselves small. We have grand energy naturally. We are beautiful, amazing beings. And so this isn't about being grandiose. I think one of the fears of people who've been scapegoated is that, oh my gosh, they're going to be just like the narcissist. No, it's not about that. It's like, let your greatness out, because people who don't let, good people who have a conscience, who don't let their goodness and greatness out, make room for the evildoers to let their voices be louder. So let your energy fill the room. You have a right to be here. Let it shine, baby. I don't try to shrink myself in order to be accepted. I don't try to make rebellious waves in order to be rejected. And I am simply present, authentic, here, me. And then the relationship attitude is, I matter and you matter. Remember, the way to create a narcissist is you matter, you matter, and I don't. This is I matter and you matter, and I'm so in touch with what's true for me that I can be real with you in the moment. So if I'm with you and you're like, you give me a funny look on your face and I had just told you something, in that moment, instead of swallowing it, hiding it, pretending it didn't happen, making up a story, I go, hey, what's going on with that? You just made a face. Like, what, did I say something? Like, I'm making up a story. What happened? So, this practice allows you to show up and be real. Like, if something is showing up in the moment, you're not playing a role. You're not trying to be a great something, a perfect anything. You're just showing up and being yourself and letting that authentic experience within you shine into the moment. Now, if you're with somebody, and this is the relationship attitude, if you don't see that I matter too, I need to fill my cup by finding people who do. And so that is what I have to share with you today. How scapegoats create narcissists. Cray! Thank you for joining me here on Goat Note number 13. And I think this, if it's not going to be the last one, it might be close to the last one, unless I'm really inspired. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comment section. And please like and share this video if you've liked it. If you got to this part, you probably did. And thank you for being with me on the journey of making humanity a more beautiful, gorgeous, and awesome place, because you're in it, and we're in it, and we are co-authoring this together. Goodbye for now.